The movie kicks off with a major bummer. Funeral for Sakura Yamuchi, high school girl who's gone too soon. Everyone's super sad, especially her friends. But guess who's missing? Haruki Shiga. Instead of mourning, Haruki wakes up, grabs his phone, and sees his last text to Sakura. "I want to eat your pancreas." Cue the flashback. So, we see Haruki and Sakura at the library, putting books away. Haruki notices Sakura messed up the book codes and tells her to double check. Out of nowhere, Sakura starts chatting about a TV show where eating someone's organ supposedly heals you if your own is sick. Then she playfully shoves Haruki against the wall, grinning, and says she wants to eat his pancreas. Classic Sakura move. Next thing we know, Haruki's in a hospital waiting room. He spots a tiny book on the floor, picks it up, and starts reading. It's a diary, and the writer's talking about having just a few years left because of pancreas disease. Boom! Sakura appears, saying the diary's hers and that her pancreas is failing. He calls her diary, Living with Dying. Haruki's reaction? Chill vibes only, which makes Sakura laugh it off. Later, Sakura catches up with Haruki on the street and insists it's just a coincidence. Haruki tries to dodge her, but Sakura chases him down. She asks him to keep her illness a secret, and he agrees, hoping to avoid her from now on. But Sakura's not done. A few weeks later, she starts working at the library and drags Haruki out for dinner. They hit up a yakiniku place where Sakura talks about a belief that eating someone makes their soul live on in you. She's cool with him eating her pancreas, but Haruki's like, nah, your soul would be a total hassle. During their meal, Haruki reveals he's not into people, and people aren't into him. Sakura gets mad, saying she does care about him, which is why she invited him out. On their way home, they spot a jerk bullying an old woman over a stain on his clothes because he ran her over with his bike. Haruki suggests they just walk away, but Sakura rushes over, kicks the jerk in the groin, and makes everyone laugh. Haruki's just standing there, unfazed. Sakura grabs his hand, and they bolt as the cops arrive. They stop at a cafe where Sakura asks for Haruki's phone number. Back at his place, Haruki gets a text from Sakura saying thanks for the day and hoping they can stay friends till the end. At school, Sakura's friends grill her about the dinner with Haruki, saying he's way too cool for her. Meanwhile, Haruki's classmate, Issei Miyata, offers him gum and asks what's up with Sakura. Haruki just says it was a fluke. In class, the class president Takahiro, who's basically the king of the school, gives Sakura a special CD from her fave band. Later at the library, Sakura asks Haruki to join her on a bucket list adventure. He's like, no way, but she convinces him. They end up at a cafe called Paradise, talking about their love lives. Haruki admits he's never had a relationship, while Sakura says she recently broke up with someone. Kyoko and her crew show up, and Kyoko asks if Sakura and Haruki are dating. Before Sakura can answer, Kyoko's friend says they have to go, so the convo gets cut short. In the afternoon, Haruki and Sakura head to the beach. Haruki asks if she's really dying and if she still wants a boyfriend. Sakura confirms both, and then asks if he can help her find a boyfriend. Haruki's like, huh? Sakura advises him to hang out with people more and less with books. The next day at school, Issei asks Haruki about his relationship with Sakura. Kyoko interrupts, telling Miyata to take out the trash and Haruki to clean up. Sakura, thinking things are going well, teases Haruki from across the room. During summer break, Sakura asks Haruki to join her on a train trip to a place she wants to visit before she dies. Haruki's surprised her parents are cool with this, but Sakura says she told them she's going with Kyoko. Just like Haruki told his parents he was having a sleepover. Sakura opens her diary and asks for Haruki's full name, but the show keeps it on the down low. So Haruki and Sakura land in Hakata for their vacay. There's a booking fail, and they end up having to share a room. The hotel upgrades them to a fancier spot as a consolation prize. In their swanky new room, Sakura is super excited and nervous about sharing a bed with Haruki. But Haruki's like, nah, I'll crash on the sofa. When Sakura asks Haruki to grab her face wash from her bag while she's in the bath, he's shocked by the weird stuff in her bag but grabs the face wash without peeking. After their baths, Sakura offers Haruki a drink she bought, which he realizes is alcohol. They decide to play a game of truth or dare with cards. Sakura wins the first round and asks Haruki who he thinks is the cutest girl in their class. Haruki's like, Hina, the math genius. Next round, Sakura asks where she ranks among the girls he knows. Haruki says she's third, which makes Sakura blush like a tomato. Haruki wins a round and asks about Sakura's childhood. She says she was a bit of a troublemaker. Haruki's questions start to feel like a boring interview, asking about her strengths and weaknesses. Sakura's like, yawn. When Sakura wins the next round, she gives Haruki a choice. Truth, he has to tell her 3 things he finds cute about her. Or dare, he has to carry her to bed. Haruki picks dare, carries Sakura, and she turns bright red. In the final round, Sakura wins again and asks Haruki what he'd do if she was really scared of dying. Haruki suddenly remembers seeing some shady stuff in her bag earlier and hesitates. He then switches to dare, and Sakura asks him to sleep in the bed with her. The next morning, Kyoko calls Sakura, grilling her for lying to her parents. Kyoko's stunned to find out Sakura is with Haruki and warns him that if he hurts Sakura, she'll make him regret it. On the way home, Sakura asks Haruki if he'd be up for another trip in winter. Haruki, surprising her, says he enjoyed this trip and is down for another one. Back home, Haruki's eagerly waiting for Sakura to text him while buried in his books. After the break, Kyoko confronts him, asking what Sakura means to him. When Haruki doesn't answer, Kyoko gets physical, threatening him if he messes with Sakura. Haruki drops his book, picks it up, and heads to the library. At the library, Sakura shares her fave book, The Little Prince, and drags Haruki to her house to lend it to him. Instead of just borrowing the book, they end up gaming and chatting. Sakura then asks if Haruki wants her to be his girlfriend, but he awkwardly declines. As he stands up to grab the book, Sakura suddenly hugs him and jokes about wanting to do naughty things with someone who isn't her boyfriend. When she moves in to kiss him, she stops, laughs, and says she was just kidding. Haruki, feeling super awkward, pushes her onto the bed and holds her arms. Seeing her scared and crying, he realizes he messed up and bolts. On his way home, Haruki runs into Takahiro, who's Sakura's ex, and is like, "Why is Sakura into you?" Takahiro gets aggressive and punches Haruki in the face. Sakura arrives, rushes to Haruki, and tells Takahiro she hates him. Takahiro storms off, and Haruki tells Sakura she deserves someone who truly cares about her. Sakura insists their meeting wasn't a coincidence and believes their choices brought them together. She apologizes and invites Haruki back to her house to get the book. Over the next few days, they tick off items from Sakura's bucket list. But then reality hits. Sakura has to go back to the hospital. Haruki visits her there, and when he opens the door, finds Sakura dancing, which embarrasses her. They chat and play cards as usual. Sakura suggests one last round of truth or dare. Haruki wins and asks Sakura what living means to her. After a moment, Sakura says, living is about having connections with others. It's the relationships that make life worth living. Haruki thanks her for everything she's taught him. Sakura hugs him for real this time, wanting to feel that human connection. Kyoko storms in and gets super mad at Haruki. Sakura, quick on her feet, hugs Kyoko to give Haruki a chance to sneak out like a ninja. The next day, Sakura tells Haruki her hospital stay got extended by 2 more weeks and asks him to visit again. That night, Sakura takes Haruki to a hill near the hospital. As they're chilling there, Haruki's still confused but super worried about her health. He tells her he really wants her to stay alive. Sakura, all touched, says she feels lucky to have someone who cares so much. Just then, fireworks start exploding in the sky, and Haruki realizes this was one of Sakura's last wishes. They share a sweet hug under the fireworks, like a scene straight out of a rom-com. To make up for stressing Haruki out, Sakura promises that once she's out of the hospital, he can take her to the beach. At home, Haruki's mom notices he's all smiley and assumes he's got a girlfriend. Haruki's like, "Nah, mom," even though he's totally in his feelings. When Sakura finally gets out of the hospital, Haruki heads to a cafe to meet her. On his way, he bumps into Miyata, who offers him gum again. This time, Haruki's like, "Sure, why not," and takes it. At the cafe, Haruki and Sakura exchange emails. He sends her a text saying, "I want to eat your pancreas." Classic Haruki. But she doesn't show up. After waiting forever, Haruki goes home, only to find out at dinner that a high school girl was found collapsed on the road and has died. It's Sakura. Heartbroken, Haruki collapses on the stairs at home, unable to handle the news. After the funeral, Haruki visits Sakura's house and tells her mom he knew about her illness. In the diary titled, Living with Dying, her mom recognizes him as the special friend Sakura was waiting for, and is glad he finally came. The diary is full of Sakura's thoughts and their time together. It ends with her being discharged from the hospital. Her mom shows Haruki a farewell letter tucked in the back of the diary. In it, Sakura didn't use his name because she felt it wasn't needed. She mentioned she was interested in him before they even met, and felt their bond was unique. She wrote that, even though she sometimes felt in love with him, their connection was beyond just love or friendship. Sakura wondered if Haruki avoided using her name because he was afraid of getting close and losing her. Haruki smiles softly, touched by her words. Sakura wrote that she admired Haruki and was grateful he cared for her. She felt like she had been waiting for him her whole 17 years, like cherry blossoms waiting for spring. Haruki finds Sakura's last text on her phone and, overcome with emotion, asks her mom if he can cry. Then he breaks down. Before leaving, her mom notes that Haruki's name, meaning spring, fits perfectly with Sakura's name, meaning cherry blossoms, echoing Sakura's metaphor about waiting for spring. Haruki then meets Kyoko at the cafe and spills the truth about Sakura's illness. Reading from the diary, Kyoko gets super mad at him for keeping Sakura's secret and storms off. Haruki chases her, apologizing and asking for forgiveness. He then asks Kyoko to be his friend. In the post-credit scene, Haruki and Kyoko visit Sakura's grave together. Haruki thanks Sakura for helping him open up to friendship. It's clear that he and Kyoko have grown closer, fulfilling one of Sakura's wishes before she passed. Sakura always hoped Haruki and Kyoko would become friends, and that's a wrap on I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.